Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you are new. My name is Vilma. As you can see from the title, this video is going to be very different from what I normally post here on my channel. So if this is your first time here, I tend to just do fashion related videos with try on hauls, styling videos, and beauty here and there. But I'm going to do an update on my hysterectomy, which was over a year ago, and I'm getting a lot of requests to actually do this video, and I thought, yes, this is the right time. It's been a year and a half since I had my procedure, and hopefully this video can help some of you out there which are currently going through the same problem that I did. Now, before I get into this video, I just want to profess that I know this is a very, very sensitive subject. A lot of you who are going through this probably have not had any children till now, and I honestly don't know how that feels. I have a daughter, but I want you to know that my thoughts are with you in this particular time. If you can't have children and your doctor is telling you this is the only way for you to have better quality of life, it must be really, really hard. And it's not an easy decision for anyone, but especially for you who cannot have children. So I just want you to know that my heart goes out to you, and I hope that the best decision is made in your particular case. Let me give you a little bit of background on myself before I had the surgery. So I first found out that I had fibroids when I was 18 on a regular checkup with a gynecologist, but they were small, so the doctor told me, you'll be fine, nothing to worry. I've always had somewhat heavy menstrual periods that would last between 5 and 7 days. Never had longer periods than that, and they were kind of like heavy between 2 to 3 days, but then the other days it wasn't as heavy. But I was always able to manage them. Fast forward 2009, I got pregnant. We were really excited. It was going to be our first child, but unfortunately that pregnancy didn't go very well. So when I was around 19 weeks, I miscarried the baby. And after all of that, we decided to go for a second opinion. Was it to do with the fibroids? Because I had some checkups after I had that miscarriage, and the doctor was being very evasive. I felt like if I didn't ask questions, I wouldn't get any answers. So we went to see a specialist, a fibroid specialist, and she told me that I had 5 fibroids. They were in different areas of my uterus, and she told me, you know what, I've seen women with bigger fibroids. Just try and get pregnant again. It doesn't look like you have issues getting pregnant, so try and get pregnant again and see if you have any issues. So I fell pregnant. I have my daughter. She's 8 years old now, and I had a C-section because my fibroids, were getting a little bit bigger, and she wouldn't be able to pass through the normal passage. So I had a C-section. So fast forward to 2017, I started feeling a little bit unwell. I was feeling very weak, lightheaded. My periods were getting so much heavier. And that's when I went for another checkup. Obviously, I went for checkups in between, but that's when I went for a checkup and they told me, your fibroids are getting really big. You may need a procedure. So I started doing my own research, and I feel like this is very, very important. Do your own research so that you're prepared when you go and sit down with your gynecologist and they give you the options and you already know what the options are. Get your questions ready. And that's exactly what I did. I got all my questions ready. I didn't want to be surprised when I was sitting face to face with this stranger telling me the worst case scenario. So the first question that I was asked was, did I want to have more children? I already had my daughter and I was 41. And I told them, no, I don't want to have more children. So they then told me the best option for me was to have a hysterectomy. It would solve the problem from the root and I would get my life back. And the sound of those words, get your life back, meant so much to me because I had no control of my own body. I had no control of even being a mom or a wife, a partner. I couldn't because I was just so uncomfortable all the time. So the sound of those words, "get your life back," meant like there was light at the end of the tunnel. I already had my daughter, so for me, the decision to say yes to the hysterectomy, it wasn't easy, but I knew that was the only way I could get my life back, because having a myomectomy, I would probably be back there within the next 2 or 3 years, because they can't promise you that fibroids don't come back. So the decision to go for the hysterectomy was a little bit easier because I prepared myself mentally that this is what the doctor is going to tell me. So my procedure took place January 15th, 2019. It's called subtotal hysterectomy. They removed the uterus and the tubes. I still have my cervix and my ovaries. The doctor said, "You're still young. You're probably only going to go into menopause within the next 8 to 10 years. So let's just leave your ovaries so it can provide you with some hormones." The day that I was admitted into hospital was actually my dad's birthday and a day before my birthday. So I felt really sad while I was there by myself, having to have this life-changing procedure. A few days after my surgery, I felt very drained. I felt very emotional. I knew that this was something that I had to do, but I felt very sad and I felt empty as well. I'm getting a little bit emotional, I'm sorry. I didn't think I was going to get emotional. I don't talk about this all the time. Whew. I knew this was the only way for me to get my life back, because every time I thought about my suffering, I knew I had to do it. So my mental state right after was very down. I was very low. I wasn't depressed, but I felt sad. I started feeling better when I started noticing the weeks go by and I had no periods. The happiness started coming back. I didn't feel normal physically. I felt heavy. I couldn't do certain things. But every week that went by, I felt stronger and I felt happy that I didn't have my period, because for 7 months, 8 months straight, I had period nonstop, no control of my body whatsoever. So after the procedure and the weeks that my body started to recover, I started feeling positive, a lot positive. Now, when it comes to the physical side of things, I had a really, really big tummy, which is normal. If you have surgery, your tummy is going to swell up and it's going to take some time because it's trauma to your body for it to go down. And I remember when I went into the surgery, I was around 13 stone 0.4. When I came out after a few days or a week, I went down to 13 stone. And then within 6 to 8 weeks, I gained a stone. Like, I felt so heavy. It doesn't happen to everybody, but I gained a lot of weight. Like, I felt really uncomfortable and I wasn't thinking about the surgery anymore. I was actually thinking, where is this weight coming from? But I feel it's because my body was not doing much. I was walking very slow. I couldn't exercise. I didn't feel like I wanted or I could exercise, because every time I even lifted my legs, I felt pressure on my tummy. So I really took my time to allow my body to rest. I know everybody's different. I hear people starting to do exercise 2 months later, 3 months later. I waited for about 9 months until I even thought of doing some ab workouts. So the recovery period took about 6 weeks at home. I think I actually stayed at home for 7 weeks. When I went back to work, I was still a little bit sore. So I was able to walk if I was standing up, and I was able to walk, no problem. But if I had to sit down, I had to get up every 30 minutes because my tummy wasn't comfortable sitting down. And you know, if you work in an office and you have to sit down at your desk, you're always sitting up straight. You're not, you know, sitting like this. At least I don't sit like that. And it was a little bit difficult the first few weeks. It took me some time to actually feel like I was okay, especially in the office. But obviously this depends on the person. Some people have different procedures. Keyhole surgery, you may recover a little bit quicker. But if you have like a cut incision, like a C-section, it does take a little bit of time for you to be able to physically feel 100% normal. Some people take 3 months to start feeling really normal. For me, it took maybe 5 to 6 months for me to be able to do more and more stuff. Now, a few changes that I've noticed, and I need to mention these because I feel like a lot of women may think when the uterus is gone that their tummy goes down. If you already had a tummy, that tummy will still be there unless you exercise or go on a diet. If your tummy was flat, more than likely your tummy will go back flat. It just really depends on your body, but that tummy will still be there. I still have the mummy pouch. I call it the mummy pouch. Some people call it the fupa. It's still there. I've lost nearly 3 stone and I still have a tummy, and it shows when I'm wearing certain clothes. But it's my body. I'm trying to reduce the fat in that area, but it takes a lot of effort, exercise, good dieting, you know, good habits, drink a lot of water, but that tummy will still be there. So that is something to really, really keep in mind after the surgery. It's not going to disappear if you already had it prior to it. So months went by, and I feel like if you would cross me on the road and you didn't know that I went through this surgery, you would never say she's gone through something, because I felt good. I never looked back saying, why did I do that surgery? The moment I felt I was able to do most things like normal stuff, carrying bags, being able to hoover, going up and down stairs, I just felt like, my gosh, I have control of my life again. And that's how I felt. So my sadness was only the first few days and the first few weeks. After that, I never looked back. It's something that I really do not regret having. It made a huge impact in my life for the better. And the reason I say this, there was a time in my life that I had no control and I didn't love myself. I felt so down, and I felt unattractive. I felt like I wasn't a normal person. And after that procedure, and when my body started going back to normal, I just felt like God just gave me a second chance at life. That's how I felt genuinely. And I still feel that way right now. I feel so much better. I have energy, and it's nothing to do with the fact that I've lost so much weight, because that is a completely different story for you guys, a completely different video. But just physically, I just feel like I'm in so much control of myself. I know I can't have more children, but God has blessed me with at least one, and I am so blessed to have her. To me, she is a miracle child. I had no issues getting pregnant, but to me, she is a miracle child because she's the only one I have, and these fibroids were just, they were stopping me from living. So now that they're completely out of my body, and I know they'll never come back because my uterus is not here, I feel so much better. Before I finish this video, I just want to give you some words of support. Just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you need to seek help. You need to speak to other people. This illness can actually make you feel so depressed, so alone, because you're going to feel like there is no one out there to support you, but you need to reach out. You need to explain to your loved ones, the people closest to you, what you're going through, so they can learn how to give you support, because this is something so different and it's so personal, it's so intimate. You have to reach out and tell people. So it's been a year and a half, and I feel physically fantastic. Mentally, I'm also in a really, really good place. I've lost a lot of weight, which helped me feel a lot more confident in myself. I'm now 43. I'm really happy that I had at least my daughter. I'm not living in the past anymore. And yeah, I guess that is it for this update. If I've not answered some of your questions that you may have, please comment below. I'll make sure to answer any questions that you have, please. Or if you want to have it a little bit more private, you can always DM me on my Instagram. I'll put my handle right here. And yeah, that's basically it. I do hope that you guys found this video helpful, and I guess I'll see you on my next video. Bye.